Happy Tuesday. Well, here we are on day, let's see, I'm trying to count, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 11 of school quarantine. Okay, so that doesn't even count the weekend, but I hope that you're hanging in there, being healthy, making good choices, not going out and hanging out with people. Just want to make sure we can get this behind us, alright? So, here am I with my chipped nails, just making it happen, living the dream, and wanted to keep rolling with y'all so you can have some sense of normalcy. We are almost done with regular algebra, and we're going to be reviewing, so that you guys can take your final exam if you weren't exempt. Don't know how that's going to all pan out right now, so I'll let you know when I know. But I did find out that you will not ever have to take your algebra EOC, ever. It's just going to be one that you don't have to graduate with, because normally you have to graduate with your algebra, English 1, English 2, biology, and U.S. history that you take in 11th grade. You have to have 5 EOCs, and you have to pass them to graduate from high school. Well, since you guys took algebra in this year, that's one less that you have to take, because you don't ever have to make this up because of the circumstances. So you guys will only have to have 4 to graduate. English 1 and biology, which you will take next year as a freshman, English 2 as a sophomore, and U.S. history as a junior. So, yeah. But we do need to finish covering this so you guys will be prepared to go on to your next math classes and review. Alright, so we're going to rewrite this formula. Negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. Alright, so hopefully you kind of get that ingrained in your memory. So what your answers are to this, you get 2 answers. You get the b plus and the b minus, all this, and that is going to give you your x-intercepts. Remember, this is what we do when we can't factor. I'm just trying to get the solutions, which are the x-intercepts. Alright, so let's look here. It says if b squared minus 4ac is greater than 0, then you're going to have 2 x-intercepts that exist. Because you're going to have a negative b plus or minus the square root of something positive. Any number, all this in here, if this number in here is positive, which is greater than 0, that's positive. Okay. If the number inside the square root is positive over 2a, then you're going to have 2 solutions. Well, let's say it's 0, like it all zeroes out, and you get negative b plus or minus the square root of 0 all over 2a. Well, that's really just going to be 0, and you're just going to have negative b over 2a. It's only going to be one x-intercept that exists. Okay? And if your b squared minus 4ac is less than 0, so you get negative b plus or minus the square root of a negative number all over 2a, then this is all going to be negative in here, okay? That means there's no real solution. We haven't had that yet. We haven't had this yet either. All we've had is this up here. Everything has always been positive when you simplify inside the square root. So this would be 0 x-intercepts exist, because you can't have a negative square root, okay? Alright, so we're going to find the number of real solutions here. So let's go ahead and just write down our A, our B, and our C. Our A is a negative 1. Our B is a 4. So this is your A, your B, and your C. And our C is a negative 4. So now I'm going to transfer that into the formula. Negative b, negative 4, plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4 times a times c all over 2 times a. Okay? Alright, so let's simplify this. Negative 4 plus or minus square root, well, this is going to be 16 minus 4 times negative 1 times negative 4. So negative 1 times negative 4 is a positive 4 times this is going to be 16 minus 16, 4 times 4, all over 2 times negative 1. Well, what do you see right here? What is this going to equal? That's going to equal 0, a 16 minus 16. So remember, if b squared minus 4ac is 0, then you're only going to have one x-intercept. So let's see how that works out. And this is all going to be all over negative 2. Okay. Okay, so negative 4 plus or minus square root of 0, which is just 0, all over negative 2. So just cancel that out. Negative 4 plus 0 and minus 0 is going to be the same thing. That's why there's only one answer. Plus negative 4 plus 0 is 4, or negative 4. Negative 4 minus 0 is negative 4. So it's going to be the same. So that's going to give you a 2. One solution. That's how it's just one solution. When the b squared minus 4ac is 0, it's one solution. Okay, let's go to the next page. Alright, 6. Let me see what this question said. The number of real solutions. Sorry. So our answer really down here is one real solution. That's what it's asking us. Okay. The number of real solutions. Okay, so let's do number 2. A is 6, B 2, C. Ooh, look. I have here, sorry guys. A is 6, B is 2, C is, at first you can think it's a negative 1, but look, it's on the other side of the 0. So the equal sign. So when we move it over to the other side, we're actually adding a 1. So this ends up being just 1. Your C is 1, a positive 1. Okay, so plus 1 equals 0. Okay, so now let's set up our problem. Negative b plus or minus the square root b squared, which is 2 squared minus 4 times a times c, all over 2 times a. Okay, so let's see what that equals. Negative 2 plus or minus square root of 4 minus 24. 6 times 1 is 6 times negative 1. All over 12. So what we can already tell how many solutions we're going to have just by what this is. 4 minus negative 24, that's going to give us a negative 20 over 12. Square root of negative 20. Well, that's less than 0. So remember, anything less than 0, right here, oops. If it's less than 0 and this number is negative inside the square root, then there's no real solutions. So, no real solution. Okay. Number 3. Ooh, we get a fraction. And we don't have everything on the side of this equal sign. So let's rewrite this. 1/2 x squared. We're going to move the 7x over and subtract that. And then move the 1 over and add that because it was negative. Equals 0. So now let's write down a. Our a is 1/2. Our b is negative 7. And our c is 1. Okay. So let's plug in what we got here. Now really, we could just be plugging in this 2 b squared minus 4ac here, but I want you guys to get used to writing everything in. It'll get you used to writing the formula. So negative b, so it's going to give us a positive 7 plus or minus square root of negative of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. Okay, so that's going to be 7 plus or minus square root of 49. That's 7 squared, or negative 7 squared. Okay, so here we are. And 1/2 times 1 is 1/2, and then 4 times half is 2, and it's negative 2, because this is a negative 4 times 1/2. So all over 2 times 1/2. Wait, hold on. Let's make sure. I just want to make sure and check myself with fractions. So to multiply 4 or negative 4 times 1/2, we just put negative 4 over 1 and multiply top times top, negative 4, and then bottom times bottom, and we can simplify that to negative 2. Okay, good. So down here, it would be 2 over 1 times 1 over 2. That's 2 over 2, which is 1. All over 1. So up here, this part underneath the square root is going to be a 47. So it's positive. So how many solutions does that mean it's going to have? 2 solutions. 2 real solutions. 2 real solutions. Okay. Now solve number 3. Woohoo! Okay. So we were at this step, 7 plus or minus square root of 49 minus 2. Oh, I'm sorry. Square root of 47. All over 1. So to get this, you're going to need to put this in your calculator. A square root of 47 plus 7 divided by 1. Okay. So when you do the square root of 47, you get 6.9. Square root of 47 equals 6.9. Okay. So 7 plus 6.9 over 1. That's going to be 13.9. That's one solution. 7 minus 6.9 is 0.1. That's your other solution. Alright, and then finally the last one, we want to solve x squared minus 5x plus 3. Okay. And that's equal to 0, so we can go ahead and put that in A, B, and C. Write those out. Our A is 1, our B is negative 5, and our C is 3. Let's plug those into the formula. Negative B, so positive 5, that makes it a positive, plus or minus the square root of B squared minus 4 times A times C all over 2 times A. Alright, let's simplify that down. 5 plus or minus square root of 25 minus 12 all over 2. Okay, so that means it's going to be 5 plus or minus square root of 13 over 2 divided by 2. Alright, so let's solve that. Square root of 13, if you put that in your calculator, you get a 3.6. We're going to round to 3.6. So now 5 plus 3.6 divided by 2 is 8.6 divided by 2, which is 4.3. That's one solution. And then 5 minus 3.6 divided by 2 is going to be 1.4 divided by 2, which is just 0.7. Those are your two solutions. Okay. So we're going to skip this page right now, for now. I think it was copied twice. We're going to go straight to the homework. Alright, so find me here on this page. It has a number 1 on the bottom. Number 1. Okay. So here's number 1. This is the homework. Find the number of real solutions. So all you have to do here on this first part, 1 through 4, is tell me how many solutions there are. Actually, that's the whole homework. Is there 1, 2, or 0? Remember, if you're b squared minus 4ac equals a positive number, then that's 2 solutions. If b squared minus 4ac equals a negative number, that's no solutions. And if b squared minus 4ac equals 0, that's 1 solution. Alright? Okay, so let's try to tackle this one. I'll do this one with you. Actually, I'm not going to do that one with you, because that one's already in equal to 0. Okay. I'm going to do number 4 with you. Alright, down here. We got to put this in, all of this has to be equal to 0. So we're going to do that. We're going to move this to the other side. That becomes plus 8x. And then this to the other side becomes plus 8. So I'm going to rewrite this. 2x squared plus 8x plus 8 equals 0. Now we can write down our a, our b, and our c. Our a is 2. Our b is 8. And our c is 8. Okay, let me point this out. Some of you might be thinking, well, do we need to pull out a GCF? Because there's a 2 here that we could pull out. No, not when you're doing it this way. Okay, we could see here that we couldn't solve this by factoring. That's only when you're factoring do you pull out a GCF. So we can't factor this. There's no factors of 8 that when added together will equal 8. Because 4 and 2 equals 6. And 8 and 1 equal 9, or 8 and negative 1. Okay, negative 8, negative 1, negative 9. So you couldn't factor that one, so you have to do it this way. Don't pull out a GCF, only when we're factoring. Okay, so let's plug in our numbers to our formula. Negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4 times 2. I must wrote an A, I'm sorry, times C, all over 2 times 2. Okay, but what we're really looking at here to solve this, because it just wants to know the number of real solutions, it doesn't want to know what the solutions are, is we're going to solve just this inside part right here. Okay, so 8 squared is 64, minus 4 times 2 times 8. I like to do I like to multiply these together and then multiply them times the 4. So 2 times 8 is 16 times 4 is 64. So it looks like we're going to have a 0. So how many solutions is it if that equals 0? 1 real solution. Remember, if b squared minus 4ac, which is what we just did, is 0, then there's only 1 real solution. Okay? Alright, so you're going to do that on the back as well, 5, 6, and 7. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, and then on the back is 5, 6, 7. Remember, put it in equal to 0 first. So right here, your c is not going to be negative 1. You got to put that negative 1 on the other side, and it becomes positive 1. So your c is positive 1. 3 looks like it's all good. It's all equal to 0. Let's look and see what 5 does. Ooh, 5. 5 we need to rewrite minus 4x minus 2 equals 0, because we need to move this to the other side. Okay. 6, we need to move this 9 over, so it becomes x squared plus 2x minus 9 equals 0. Ooh, and down here, we're doing a few movements. We're going to move the 9x first, so it's a negative 9x, because this negative sign attaches to that. So we're going to add 9x to both sides. And that gets that off there. And then here, move the 6 over here, we got to subtract 6 from that 8. So when we rewrite that, we get 8x squared plus 9x. And then 8 minus 6 is 2 plus 2 equals 0. Alright, so that'll help you there figure out what those A, B's, and C's are. And remember, on this homework, you're only checking for that B squared minus 4AC part. This part inside the square root, the radical, so that you want to see if it's greater than 0, if it's a positive number, it's going to have 2 solutions, and that's where you stop. You don't have to solve it. If it's less than 0, it's going to have 0 solutions, and if it's 0, then it's 1 solution. Alright? And then tomorrow, whoop whoop, we're going to be doing our review for this unit already. Okay? So we'll do that tomorrow, and then we'll take the test set for Thursday. You are going to be able to use your review on your test. You can get your review signed by a parent, and that'll give you 5 points. So, yeah, good deal. Alright, I'll talk to you guys today on Zoom. If you couldn't catch us today at 11 on Zoom, then I'll talk to you again on Thursday at 11. But anyways, y'all have a good day and stay safe. And I miss y'all. Bye.